Hey, what's going on, y'all? Just felt compelled to make a video to try to give y'all some free game with this election season coming up, school board elections coming up in November, at least in Alief anyway. But I just want to give y'all some political game as far as looking at candidacies and some of the things that they talk about. Honestly, most school board members, before they decided to run for the school board, they never attended a single school board meeting. And that's important because you'll hear a lot of people say, well, I was a teacher, or I was an administrator, or I was in education for all of these years, or I was active in the community. That's all great accomplishments. However, the business of being on a school board is completely different from the aesthetics of doing community service or being a teacher where all you do is listen to administrators. Actually, in my opinion, teachers from within that particular district make horrible school board members because they're already conditioned to just listening and following directions from administrators. So again, most school board members who decide to run for the school board have not attended a school board meeting ever, or at least a school board meeting in the district in which you're running from. They tend to use their desire to run for the school board as a springboard for something else. So they're either trying to get to another plateau and they feel like being on the school board will give them some name recognition or boost their accolades to allow them to get to another step, such as maybe a state seat or school board, school board, not school board, but the, what do you call that? Texas education, just basically trying to use their position as a springboard. The school board position is a volunteer position, so you're not getting paid to do that. So you in essence, you dictate how much time and effort you want to put into giving back to that particular school district. Let me say that again. It's a volunteer position, so there's no motivation for those who aren't there for the right intentions to do the right thing. Whereas district staff members, right? So when you go to the school board, you have your school board members and then you have your administrators who present and what have you. So those administrators generally put in 40 hours per week, and I'm lowballing regularly. Nobody really works 40 hours a week, especially if you're in education. So 40 hours a week, 160 hours per year versus the 2, 3, or 6 hours a month that a school board member volunteers their time to the board. So I say that to say this. I'm go outside of the context of school boards. When I watch the police shows, the inmates in jail always get into it with the guards, and one of their primary arguments is, you're only here for 8 hours. We're here every day. We live here. So you can't come in here and tell us what to do, or you can't watch us all the time. You're going to do your 8 hours and leave, and we're still going to be here, with one another. That's very important because the same concept occurs within the school board system when you have a system that's not doing the right thing, i.e. a superintendent versus school board members. The school board members only technically have to attend those 2 to 3 hours of meetings per month, whereas a superintendent is there 160 plus hours per month getting their ordeals together. In a less common sense, we hear when the cat's away, the mouse will play. Well, that's real talk. That's exactly what happens in the school district with unscrupulous work, if you will. Let me see. Let me go to an illustration. Talking about consent agendas, and basically the reason for me making this video is concerned around school board members vote. So the board has a consent agenda, which the board president is supposed to make the agenda, but typically the superintendent has a lot of help and massaging into what goes into there. So here we have their consent agenda, which is just a whole bunch of items that you vote on at one time, as opposed to voting on each item individually. They lump them all together, vote on all of these items, and once they're passed, all of these 12, 8, 100 whatever items are passed. They're basically law now. The problem with that is if you have an unscrupulous administrator, right, an individual that's been working on this project for 160 hours versus the 2 or 3 hours that the board member comes, you get presented with a consent agenda, right? Back in the day, I used to like to get cereal, and they would give like the prizes in the box, and we all know that the little prize that they gave was at the bottom of the box. Why? Because they want you to eat the cereal. They want you to eat the cereal before they get to the bottom of the box. That's the same thing with the consent agenda. So they present one thing, right? Here's the cereal in there. You voted on this as a school board member. You passed it. But guess what? The moment you passed it, you passed the cereal. You passed these vitamins that was in the box. You passed this red handkerchief. You pass this wallet and whatever comes in this wallet, whatever payments come within this wallet, and lo and behold, you pass this knife. That's, in essence, for lack of better words, what a consent agenda is. And there's no consequences for a school district that presents a consent agenda and the board votes on it. They didn't lie to you. They just didn't tell you the whole truth. You voted on this, and now you're being held accountable as a school board member for all of these items that you voted on. So let me give you an example of what that looks like in practical senses. Let's say last year in Alief ISD, the school board voted on an 8% raise to give to teachers. So 8% raise given to everybody across the board. This is really what's supposed to be given to the educators, the hardworking educators. However, somehow administrators got lumped into the consent agenda. So that when the board voted yes, they voted for 8% raise for the teachers. They voted for 8% raise for the custodians. They voted for 8% raise for administrators. And they also voted for 8% raise for the superintendent, who is also an administrator. Well, what does that mean? Why is that a problem? Well, the difference is, let's say a teacher's salary is about, let's just, and I'm highballing, not all salaries are the same, about $60,000. So with that 8% raise, the one teacher would get $4,800, which is about $177 per paycheck. And everybody's happy that the board loved educators. Well, what they didn't tell you is that 8% raise for Alief ISD superintendent making about $450,000 is $36,000 or $1,333 extra on his check, right? So teacher got $177, superintendent got $1,333 that they didn't talk about. They presented like this. What they also didn't talk about, and I'll give you an example, a visionary example, that back in the day in Bugs Bunny cartoon, they were sitting around gambling, and there was a mischievous, dealer. And so he'd go to Bugs, he'd go, 1 for you, 1, 2 for me, 2 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me, 3 for you, 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. And that's in essence what happens. You know, the superintendent gave you 1 and he took 3 off the top. So you have unintentional consequences for the consent agenda. I'll give you a couple more examples of what, let's go back to that financial thing. So what the consent agenda and that 8% raise also didn't talk about is that those individuals that have been working 180 hours per week also know that next year the premium for the insurance is going to go up, right? So they give you $177 per month, but they already know next year they're going to get that money back because the premiums go up. The school district is going to lower the amount of contributions that they contribute, telling you that they can't afford to match that. So your insurance is going to go up an extra $50. So now instead of $177 per check, you're getting $122. And this is, again, all pre-tax. So that 8% really didn't do much for you. And, you know, that $50 coming out of the superintendent's $1,333 isn't going to hurt him at all. He's still making hand over fist from the 8% raise that they didn't talk about. So it doesn't account for the health insurance premiums going up. It didn't account for the taxes that's coming out, nor did it account for the fact that everybody else is getting some of the pot. And had the administrators not gotten those raises, they could have probably given the educators and the bus drivers a 15 to 20% raise. So let's go back to the consent agenda. I saw in my particular school district that the school board voted on limited open enrollment. Key word is limited. Looks like this, but there's no expiration date on the limitation of the open enrollment. So the school board voted on limited open enrollment for one school. However, it was presented for limited open enrollment for one school. However, the board blankly approved limited open enrollment for the entire district, which means every school, including the career center, now has open enrollment where kids outside of your district can go and use those facilities, and they don't pay taxes in your community. They just get to come and use your facility tax-free. So they presented one thing, voted on another thing, and now it's open. It's still open. 1 year later, there's still limited open enrollment with no expiration date. The school board voted on employee contracts, teacher contracts. Well, the contracts don't have a start date. They don't have an end date. That's why they're able to make school year round, because you think you're coming to school starting in May and ending in June, but technically they could start coming back in April and in July. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So they could have you going to school all year round and giving you intermediate days off in between, because the board approved a blank contract with no end or start date. So that's just a little bit of narrative that I want to give y'all some political game as far as consent agendas. And most school board members, again, they'll present to you that they've been active in the community. But if you've never actually sat inside of a school board meeting to know the politics and the moves that goes on in there, you come in blind trying to figure some things out, and then you're behind the 8 ball because the administrators got 180 hours per month to figure out how they're going to finagle or use your 2 to 3 hours of knowledge against you. So that's all that I got. Limited open enrollment, 8% raises. I talked about consent agendas, talked about unintended consequences. Love to hear your feedback. Any questions or concerns, message me, call me directly, leave comments in the bottom. Thanks.